having discussed his second obsession, this brings me on nicely to the first time I set eyes on the lovely Mrs. Richardson. Well, Miss Tyler at the time. He made me include, sorry. It's not what you think. Out of the blue, I get a call. Well, I was in Devon, and Steve phoned me up and said, I'm in England, I'm with Emma. I didn't know who Emma was. I'm with Emma. Can we come and see you? Thinking I was at home. But I was down in Devon. I said, look, come down, join me in Devon. I'm then staying in the pub. So I arranged for a room, and they made their way down. I still remember it now. I was sitting in the bar, sucking my pina colada or whatever it was, awaiting the arrival. When the door opened, and in walked the pair of them. They looked fantastic. Then Steve came in. Well, it wasn't long before Steve and I got back our old ways of this drink, that drink, all sorts of drinks. We got very, very drunk. We all got very drunk, the three of us. And the following morning at breakfast, poor Emma didn't actually surface. Steve and I were sitting there thinking, oh, this is not a good idea, you know. I said, look, I'm off to work. Bring Emma up to the site. Show her around the site, build some lodges up there. So, 3 hours later, Steve, with his ghost in tow, turned up. She looked like death warmed up before. So I took her up to the show home, but she kept disappearing around the back of the show home, making very strange noises and coming out, wiping her out. This happened about 3 times. Anyway, Emma, in memory of you, that lodge has now been named the Sycamore. So let's get back to Steve. I want you to think cars, 80s cars, icon cars of the 80s. Quattro, Cosworth, GTI, Ford Orion. Yes. Stevie had a Ford Orion. Right, at the time I was living with Steve and Stuart in Seven Oaks. It was a bit like boys behaving badly with Dad, but Stuart had a pretty smart 911 Porsche, and I had, I think it was a Lamborghini or something. And Steve's Orion was parked in the middle. Was it red? Rosso, yes. Yeah. Babe pulling rust I got down here. So, but what I found strange was that not only did he manage to get the odd girlfriend in there, the thing actually drove fairly fast. But it wasn't quite contractor material. So it wasn't long before Steve decided he needed to upgrade and duly bought himself the first Mrs. Steve Richardson. His beloved 1988 black Porsche 911, which I believe he still owns today and sleeps with. And Emma, if you get half as much loving, attention and money spent on you as is spent on that Porsche, you're a very lucky girl. So, well, I think it's about time I sort of began the closing ceremony of, which I believe was quite a good speech, and as I only get paid by the minute, I'm not really working contractors roll up to the nearest day. We're going to end with a little song. Well, it started off as a poem. And I was sitting there reading this poem with my guitar in my hand, and I started strumming. And I thought, oh, I could do a song out of this. Now, one, I can't sing, and two, I can't play the guitar. And I thought, well, the speech in 4 Weddings and a Funeral was embarrassing, but we think we could go on better. So, bear with me while I get my guitar out. I'm going to sing a little song, Steve, and hopefully the words, listen to the words, and what I'm about to say will sink in, perhaps give you and Emma the wonderful marriage you deserve. It's titled The Perfect Groom.